I'm Rachel Kirkland with WashingtonExec, and today I'm speaking with Dr. Ameya Kulkarni, who is Associate Medical Director of Kaiser Permanente. Dr. Kulkarni, along with his colleague at Kaiser Permanente, Cynthia Cifuentes, are co-chairing the 2023 Heart Walk for the American Heart Association, which is an annual event held this year on Saturday, November 4th at the National Mall. Welcome, Dr. Kulkarni, and tell us more about your company's involvement with this event.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. We're really excited about our partnership with the American Heart Association for the Heart Walk. As you may or may not know, the American Heart Association is turning 100 next year, and Kaiser Permanente is about 80 years old. And so we like to think we're one of the originals in sort of modern healthcare, and we've been partners for a very long time. We're super excited to partner with the American Heart Association for the Heart Walk because it's such an important event to raise awareness about heart disease, to get people out and walking and actually doing the thing we think is best to protect your heart from disease.
Fantastic. What is your fundraising goal this year?
Oh gosh, we have a very, very lofty fundraising goal because there's so many important things to fundraise for. $2.1 million is our goal. And you know that goal is set so that we can fund the amazing research that the American Heart Association does, allows us to be involved in the community, teaching community groups CPR and working on things like food security and health equity.
Absolutely. You mentioned research. A
Yeah.
recent study that we found published in the Journal of the American Medical Association did show that increasing your daily physical activity by just 10 minutes could help save more than 100,000 lives a year. Can you tell me how you are working with the American Heart Association to make heart and brain health a priority at Kaiser Permanente?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll definitely tell you about that. But let's just take a moment and pause and just intake that study, right? It tells us that something simple as walking for 10 minutes a day has the ability to protect our hearts and our brains. So that's such a remarkable thing, and so easy to do. And so we at Kaiser Permanente and the American Heart Association have spent a lot of time thinking about these simple steps to improve your health. And we have been focusing on any amount of activity being better than no activity for a long time. So that's sort of how that's part of our ethos. Kaiser and the American Heart Association also have been working together this year on really trying to get people back to walking in any way that they can. So one of the really neat things about the walk this year, as it's been for the last couple of years, is if you can't make it to the National Mall on walk day, you can do a virtual walk because we realize that in sort of the post-pandemic world, people are trying to figure out how to balance exercise back into their lives, and we want to make it as easy as possible. So that's really our ethos is simple steps that can save your life, and walking is one of them.
Absolutely. What can people expect at the Greater Washington Region Heart Walk this year, and what are you especially looking forward to?
I mean, it is such an amazing event. We have thousands of people on the National Mall with the monuments in the background. You can do a 1 mile or a 3 mile walk around the National Mall with a bunch of survivors, families, supporters, healthcare workers, and really celebrate, all the wonderful people who contribute to protecting our hearts and minds. Um, there's also going to be some really cool events. There is, I always bring my family and our dog, and there is a pet parade during the National Mall. That's one of my favorite parts. We have our colleague Laurent, who leads in a bunch of stretches and dance exercises. My kids love that. Dancing on the National Mall with like hundreds and thousands of people around you is just super exciting. And overall, there's just so much energy and positivity around the event, supporting such an amazing cause and also supporting an amazing activity that you can do at home.
Awesome. And how can people get involved?
So you can go to greaterwashingtonheartwalk.org and register to join the American Heart Association Heart Walk. It's also a place you can donate and encourage your friends to join as well.
Wonderful. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing this information.
Thanks for having me.